if you want your string to sound as bass as possible, you want the longest string length as possible. That's as bass as that string's going to get. But if you reduce the length and go up the fret, it gets higher, 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 because you keep on reducing the length. Simple principle, but with intonating we approach tuning a little bit differently and it gets kind of confusing. So, but try to keep that in mind. Here's the basic principle, is if you want the sound to sound higher, that's a smaller sounding, like a tweeter is a smaller speaker, you want a smaller distance on the string. You want to reduce the string length. If you want it to sound lower, you want to increase the string length, like a big bass speaker, a cello, bass, you know, the different size bass is bigger. Just, you want a bigger length if you want it bassier. You want a smaller length if you want it to sound higher. Okay, now let's just talk about applying that and see how this works out. First, and let me make another quick tip, and that is, I think that it's important to have a good tuner. Try to get a good tuner, and I recommend downloading G-Tune, G-T-U-N-E. Google that and download. They have a demo, and it's all over the internet, and very accurate. So there's some buttons to play on in there, but it's not that complicated. If try to make sure it's set up on your sound card right, and I think you can turn off noise suppression or whatever. A few things that you can do even with the demo version. Very economical. I mean, you could spend hundreds of dollars before you get this much accuracy in a hardware version, a hardware tuner. So download this and use a demo, and really help you get the intonation in. If you got a great tuner, then fine. But I suggest, especially for intonation, get yourself a really good tuner, the best tuner you can get, most accurate. Okay, so tune your strings. Make sure they're all tuned open tuning. When you hold your guitar, try to make sure it's the same way throughout the entire intonation process, which could be lengthy. So I try to keep mine where I normally play, with the body up and down like this, and try not to put any pressure along the neck. I'm just going to fret very gently, very moderately, just moderate pressure. I'm just moderate hand usually. So I'm just not going to bear down too hard, not going to bear down too light, and intonate. So here's how I'm going to do the first low E. I strum the open low E, and I look at the scale to see exactly where it is, because it's probably not going to be perfect. It's a little sharp or a little flat, whatever it is, and I take note of it, and I fret at the 12th fret, and it should be the same. A little sharp or a little flat, whatever it was at the open. It should be a mirror of that. So, and if it's not, and if it's off enough, and then you check other frets, and it's also, like, let's say it's sharp a little bit. It's sharper than what it should be at open position. So then you fret here, fret here, fret here, fret here. Just fret up. After you fret that and you're sure it's 3 or 4 cents, you know, it's sharp, and you fret a couple different places, it's sharp, then you need to flatten that note. This string length needs to be flattened. To make it sound lower in pitch, you need a longer string length, so then you would say that the saddle needs to go longer. Then, after you make an adjustment, you make a little bit of adjustment, make it a little bit longer, then you retune that E, after you've adjusted it, retune the E to open string correct, go up to the 12th fret, and it might be right on if the adjustment is correct. If it's not enough, you need to go longer. If it's too much, and you need to raise it again, see, then you need to adjust it back up. So that's it. You do the same thing for all the strings until it's intonated. I suggest doing intonation in a couple weeks after you've done it. Check it again. So that's it for now. Just want to remind you, I hope that helps you get more tone. If you're pickups oriented to strings, it seems to help on this Gibson of mine. And for intonation, it'd be a good idea if you get a great tuner, if you don't already have one, and you could get a little $3 or $4, a couple dollars on a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch adapter, and plug in your sound card of your computer. Download a free software program that's really great for tuning your guitar and doing intonation. G-Tune, G-T-U-N-E. And I hope you understand intonation, as well as maybe getting a little bit more tone out of your guitar. That's it for now. Have a good one.